welcome to Crosshairs, GameSpot AU's brand new weekly show. This is my co-host Dan Chiappini. G'day Dan, how are
G'day
you?
Randy, I'm super excited about this, our first episode of Crosshairs. Time with Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Xbox 360. A little play with DS version of Guitar Hero.
G'day and welcome back to Crosshairs, GameSpot AU's weekly wrap-up of everything video gaming, and welcome to episode 50. We didn't ever think we'd get this far. We thought some sort of government regulator would have pulled us off the air long ago, but we made it through, and I'm joined by the GameSpot AU crew, Laura Parker and James Koznecki.
Hi guys.
G'day guys.
Hello.
We made it.
We did. How exciting!
That's a year almost, pretty much.
It is. And I'm surprised we've been able to do it every single week, just about without fail.
And we haven't fought too much either.
No, we haven't. Randy unfortunately can't be with us. He's off with child, but he's here with Spirit. Because we've got a massive episode to show this week. What have we got on?
We do. So we're going to be making our favorite superheroes face off against the Street Fighter crew in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Xbox Live Arcade. We're going to head to the skies of Europe with World War II flight sim heroes over Europe. We catch up with Phil Spencer, the head of Microsoft Game Studio, to chat about all things gaming. We look at your reactions to our defeat in the latest GameSpot Ashes test. We take a look at the past 50 episodes of Crosshairs, as well as the news, charts, ratings, and much more.
Now, we've been doing the same thing for 50-odd episode, guys, so let's kick straight into the news section. Laura, some big stuff happening with EA this week, Microsoft and Nintendo.
That's right. It's a big news for cold, hard sales figures, so if you're into those, then you'll like news this week. We're going to kick things off with a lot of sexy sales numbers floating around, starting with Sony. The publisher reported its April to June quarter figures this week, revealing a net loss of around $390 million. The console sales numbers weren't looking too good either, with quarterly worldwide PS3 sales dropping from 1.6 to 1.1 million units since last year, and PSP sales falling from 3.7 to 1.3 million. Sony also announced lifetime sales for the PS3, which has sold 23.8 million units worldwide since its November 2006 launch. This compared to Xbox 360's 30 million lifetime sales and the Wii's 52.6 million. During a financial call this week, Sony's CFO Nobuyuki Onita also revealed that the cost of making the PS3 has dropped by around 70%. Moving right along, Nintendo President Satoru Iwata has ruled out a Wii price cut, saying the lack of good software is what's to blame for declining hardware sales of the console. In a post-earnings conference, Iwata revealed that there are no plans for price cuts, instead pointing to the Wii's recent lineup of titles as the console's main weakness. In the same quarter that Nintendo launched Wii Fit and Mario Kart Wii last year, the publisher has had no major releases by comparison this year. This is something it plans to remedy, with the rest of this year's releases forecast favourably against last year's, including the recently released Wii Sports Resort and the upcoming Wii Fit Plus and new Super Mario Bros. Wii. Following the other publishers, EA has also posted its earnings for the quarter ending June 30. Like many of its rivals, EA has also reported a loss, $234 million to be exact. The loss came despite EA declaring itself as the top third-party publisher during the April-June quarter, singling out Fight Night Round 4, EA Sports Active, and The Sims 3 as its top sellers, with the latter selling 1.8 million and 3.7 million units worldwide respectively. But it's not all bad news. According to market research, 4 of the top 10 games sold in June in the US were published by EA. And EA Sports Active is now the best-selling Wii game ever published by EA, claiming a 21% share of the North American software market for the console. And finally, in news this week, Microsoft has quashed rumours that Gearbox will be developing the next Halo game. Although Gearbox is no stranger to the series, having ported the original Halo Combat Evolved to the PC in 2003, the studio's excitable CEO, Randy Pitchford, spent the week dodging questions about whether Gearbox's next big project might be the upcoming Halo title. This apparently got Microsoft wound up, and the publisher used its Twitter feed earlier this week to say that, for the record, Gearbox is not working on a Halo title for Microsoft. And onto charts this week, there's certainly no sign of Nintendo doing badly in this country, with almost total domination of the top 10, with Wii Sports Resort knocking Wii Fit off the number 1 spot. And that's all for Crosshairs News. Stay tuned for more.
Let's take a look at the games that have been classified this week, starting off with James Cameron's Avatar, the game, which was rated PG by the classification board. Now, we know very little about this game except that it's apparently going to be in 3D and that James Cameron has an amazing ability to waffle on for half an hour without any visual slides. This one hasn't been dated quite yet. Next up, we have Ninja Gaiden 2 for the PlayStation 3, which not surprisingly got rated MA 15+ for strong violence. Exclusive to the PS3, Sigma 2 builds upon Itagaki's game from last year, adding in new characters, new enemies, and an online co-op mode. Expect to see Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 in stores around October. BioWare's upcoming Dragon Age Origins has been hit with an MA 15+ rating, citing strong violence. Seen by fans as a return to their roots, BioWare are heading back to a fantasy setting, but little is known about the story except for that it's been described as a dark heroic fantasy, and will have 3 classes for players to play as, including Rogue, Warrior, and Mage. EA haven't set a release date for Dragon Age Origins yet, but stay tuned for more details soon. Developed by Obsidian Entertainment, Alpha Protocol blends RPG-like character interaction with the run-and-gun gameplay that you'd expect to see in a third-person shooter. The game revolves around a rogue CIA agent named Michael Thornton, who has been hung out to dry by the US government and must avoid being captured while attempting to stop an international catastrophe. Alpha Protocol is being rated MA for strong violence and coarse language. Finally, we have Soul Calibur Broken Destiny for the PlayStation Portable. Rated PG, Broken Destiny is the first time the popular weapons-based fighting series has appeared on the PSP, and to celebrate has brought along 2 new fighters, Kratos, who you may know from the God of War series, and a brand new character called Dampire. Soul Calibur Broken Destiny is due out on the 27th of August.
Now, 50 episodes, that's what, 2 previews a week for 50 episodes. That's 100 games.
That's a lot of games.
We've previewed a lot of stuff here at Crosshairs. And this week, Cos, we're checking out Heroes Over Europe for the 360 here.
Yeah, we are. It's developed by the Melbourne studio Transmission Games, so it's good to see some local games like being pushed out there.
So what's the general idea of this one?
Alright, so it's set in World War II. You're an American who got fake Canadian passports so that he could then fight for the British in Europe.
I love it. Does it?
Yeah.
So it's historically accurate.
Yeah, sort of.
So what's how does the game look, and what do you do?
It looks great. So basically, you as the name suggests, you fight over the skies of Europe against the Nazis. The first level is set in France, and it's like a bit of a tutorial mission. And then the second level is...
So you fly plane, right? Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, fly plane. And then the second level, the Allies are being pushed back from Europe, and you're defending England.
Cool, so is this a straight arcadey game, or is it a sim shooter? What are we looking at?
Well, it's not like a Microsoft Flight Simulator like that, but it does have 2 flying modes. You got your arcade mode, which is just you use the left analog stick to go up and down, left and right, and then you have the right analog stick, which is just accelerator and brake. Whereas in Pro mode, the left analog stick is used for directions, and then the right analog stick is still your accelerator, but you've got your pedal rudders as well.
Cool. So are you just like flying around the whole time, shooting down planes, or do you go on bombing runs, have other missions?
We've been told there are bombing missions, and there's a whole bunch of planes ranging from like your Spitfires to the B-17 Flying Fortresses, which were bombers, yeah. But the only missions that we got to play were straight dogfighting, except for one mission where we had to shoot sea mines, which that wasn't... basically,
That's what you want to do in,
Yeah, these little specks in the water, there were a couple of boats that needed to get through, so we got assigned shooting sea mines.
Not the most exciting of missions, I imagine.
No, but it was we shot down a whole bunch of German planes, so I guess you got to have the ups and downs.
So is it dogfighting on the way to other objectives, or is the majority of the game dogfighting?
The majority of the game is dogfighting. I mean, most of the levels start off with go to like point X and patrol this area, and then magically Germans appear out of nowhere, and then that's when you got to defend them.
Magically outnumbered, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
And suddenly you'll need to prove yourself and shoot down 40 planes.
So far, there's only been 2 planes, including like our plane, and you got like the British ally who's got the really strong accent and lame dialogue to go along with it. And he's not very good though. I've noticed that he seems to get in the way of the bullets a lot. But thankfully, he's got an invincible plane, so he can't get shot down by us.
What about the historical accuracy? Are you actually going to relive any of the classic World War II fights, or is this, since it's an arcade game, a bit of fantasy?
Well, I'm sure World War II was set in Europe, so it's accurate in that regard, but I haven't played any of the more historical battles yet. But there is one cool thing that I do want to mention though. It's got like a bullet time mode, so if you put your aimer...
What game doesn't have bullet time mode?
Just like real World War II, bullet time. So you put your aimer over like an aeroplane, and once the bar fills up, it zooms in, And if you hit one of the spots that are marked yellow on the aeroplane, it's like an instant kill and you can take it down in one shot.
Awesome. And does the game look good?
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. The ground looks pretty cool and you can interact with it really well. Like if you decide to...
You may crash into it.
Yeah, if you decide to shoot up the trees on the ground, like you can see them being ripped apart, and same for the buildings.
Awesome.
Very cool. So when's this one out, guys?
Heroes Over Europe is due out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC in September.
Now, Heroes Over Europe isn't the only game we've been playing here in the office. I've been checking out Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Xbox 360. It's out on Xbox Live Arcade now, and we're currently in the process of reviewing it for the site.
Awesome. What's it all about? Tell me.
Essentially, this is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the game you played previously, brought kicking and screaming into the Xbox Live Arcade region.
It was a Dreamcast game, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah, I think they had a port of this for the PS2. I think the Xbox got a birth as well, and that was on the Dreamcast. I think, if I'm correct, this is the Dreamcast version ported over to Xbox Live.
So if it's a port, how does it kind of run and play and look? Is it
It actually runs surprisingly well. I mean, the Dreamcast version was actually really good, and it's one of those critically acclaimed 2D shooters that does things slightly differently. But the transition has been incredibly smooth for the game.
How does it compare to like Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, which was obviously like completely revamped for this generation?
Well, Street Fighter 2 HD Remix was revamped completely. This is literally a port of an older version. So there are no new characters. The roster is unlocked from the start, which is nice. Other than that, there's a couple of different visual modes, but you won't get completely reworked.
What about
graphics.
comparing it to like Street Fighter 4?
Completely different kettle of fish. This game has always been kind of rooted in team play more than anything else. So rather than Street Fighter 2 or 4, where you actually have a single character and you'll play them until they die or you win or lose, this one you'll actually have a team of 3. You'll be able to choose from a roster of, I think it's 56 characters that span the Marvel and Capcom universes. You've got your Street Fighter guys, your X-Men characters, and some of the other ones like Mega Man's in there, Servbot.
Cool. So is this a good game for kind of first timers?
It's actually probably a pretty steep learning curve, to be honest, because the 3-player thing means that you can also choose one of 3 different types of assist. So you'll only play one character at a time technically, but you can get the other guys to jump into the ring, do a special attack or a regular attack, jump back out, help you throw someone up into a catch move, and then you can keep pummeling them.
They do like combo moves, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So the value of this is that you can do incredible number. The first achievement is to do 100 hit combo. So you'll be working on that one a while, and this game is one that's been loved for a long time.
Now I noticed that every character has like their own sort of unique ability, don't they? Like when we were playing, Jill Valentine had the zombies that came out, right?
Yeah, she's got the zombies, she's got birds. Mega Man transforms into a giant Mega Man. You've got the classic ones, so big sneaky attack with Wolverine. You've got giant-sized Hadouken blast with Cyclops and Ryu and Ken as well.
I think you're forgetting that the shipbot makes a table.
That is true. Servbot throws a tablecloth down, which is possibly the best ability in the game now.
Cool, Dan. So when's this one out?
It's out right now on the Xbox 360. It's coming out on the PlayStation 3 sometime in early August, and it's available now for 1,200 Microsoft points. Now it's our 50th episode, and you can't roll out some no-name for the 50th of anything. So we got the head of Microsoft Game Studios in the US, Mr. Phil Spencer. We spoke to him during E3, and here's his impressions on everything going on with the video game industry right now.
My name is Phil Spencer. I'm head of Worldwide Studios for Microsoft. So Project Natal is a combination of a lot of software work that's been going on in the company for quite a while. If you think about the different technologies at play, you've got facial recognition, you have voice recognition, you have skeletal tracking, you have things that Microsoft Research has been working on for years in terms of perfecting. Some of the stuff, like voice recognition, you've seen some advances in the past, and it's a kind of a continuation of that work. It's one of the strengths we have as a company. We're a software company focused on research, focused on development. We, as content creators, as the head of Worldwide Studios, we've been thinking about the barriers to many people playing games for a while, and thought about controllerless gaming and how we'd interact. Dimitri was something we had incubated at Lionhead many years ago. And what you see in Milo today is really kind of the culmination of some great platform innovation, working in sync with a lot of our content creators, our content leaders. We're a software company. I think we somewhat reinvented our platform last fall with the new Xbox experience. We rewrote the OS for our platform and gave people completely new experiences. You didn't have to go buy a new piece of hardware to do that. And for us, generations start when new experiences hit the market, not when we try to sell you a new piece of a new console. When we launched Natal, the content, the fun, the creative work that people will get to interact with, I think for those people, that will be the next generation. Now, other companies might define it differently. For me, it's about people doing things in a new way, things that they've never done before, and I see that with Natal. We have a firm belief that we have a technology and creations that will define the market when they come out for this space. As first party, we've always been about building those, call them tentpole games, call them showcases, hero experiences, either for live or for 360 or even Xbox One when it came out. And the work had come along and we felt like we had a solid plan with a solid launch portfolio and a portfolio for the next few years that we should start talking about this publicly. We're shipping dev kits out. There's clearly, when you start shipping dev kits out, the chances of leaks and other things go up. But frankly, I thought we were ready to stand on stage and show off our work. And I thought it actually held up well. And we chose on stage to highlight 3 experiences that were at opposite, or kind of opposite ends of a triangle maybe. You know, we showed Ricochet with Abby Lynn, who I thought did a great job on stage, kind of going crazy and hitting a bunch of balls, and that was a very active experience, a very physical experience. Then Darren got up and did Paint Party, which is much more creative, collaborative, but still clearly using himself to interact with the experience. Is that a game or is that just an activity? I don't think it really matters. People are having fun playing with that. And then we showed Milo, which was our example to say, you might be able to start brainstorming and say, okay, here, I bet they're going to do X, Y, and Z games. Well, here's something completely different, just to throw you a curve, something that is completely making use of the technology, but is not overt. It's not playing to the physical nature first. It's actually playing to the game experience. And I think as we've talked with our partners like Epic and Bungie and our internal studios about the technology, it's been quite a while. We're going to see a range of experiences when we actually come to market. I do think it's a challenge, but a good challenge for creators to remove some of the, I don't know if bias is the right word, but some of the learning that you have. I spent a couple years in England. I came back in October, so I was around when we were incubating Milo and working with the team at Lionhead, and the ideas and kind of some of the unveiling of thinking that needs to happen. I think teams, especially third parties, as they start seeing this for the first time and start working on it, there will be a new learning process. But let's face it, I mean, the games that we play today do an amazing job of taking a physical activity on screen and mapping it through this somewhat obscure device called a controller. I mean, I might feel like I'm shooting a basket or kicking a soccer ball or driving a Ferrari or shooting a gun, and to me as a core gamer it feels natural. And if they can do that, I think they have the skill to say, well, how do you hit a ball? Well, you go like this. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that seems to work. I think we'll get there, but there will be some learning that they go through, because I think there is we've become used to mapping through a controller. When I think back to franchises that have historically been known as other platforms franchises, you can pick Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear. I mean, those franchises, not only are they coming to the 360, but they're finding tremendous success on the 360 and innovating like the way Resident Evil did with their co-op stuff. I think it's great. It's great to have those partners. Final Fantasy 13, seeing it running on the 360 as a longtime gamer was a pretty special moment, just given that what I would say a true Final Fantasy game working on our platform, having them focused in development was great. You know, future work, Square is obviously a great partner, and our future work with them, I'm sure there'll be more to talk about down the road.
Now, I've got a couple of Aussie-specific questions for you.
Good.
You've worked with Chrome in the past.
Still do, actually. Yeah, just no one knows, so don't tell anybody.
So what are you doing with those guys at the moment?
We haven't announced what we're doing with them, but the team at Chrome is a very creative team, great at production, great at driving development. It's a team we've had a successful past with. We did a Viva Pinata game with the team down there. We will have a chance to announce what we're doing, but right now I'd say we have a good relationship. My name is Phil Spencer. I'm head of Worldwide Studios for Microsoft.
Guys, we've had so many good times over 50 episodes.
What a year
You
it's
joined us
been.
late in the piece, but
Yes.
you've been an important part of the team.
I was so nervous during my first Crosshairs episode. I still remember it. I was just like, oh my god, cameras everywhere, what do I do? And
Nothing's changed.
hey!
And I'll be the first to admit that you look back and our first ones were terrible. Here's a,
Maybe
here's
we
a,
shot it in the games room, right?
Yeah.
here's a stroll down memory lane here on Crosshairs.
Sha-na-na-na.
Hello and welcome to Crosshairs. Hello everyone. Hey there everybody in internet land. James the Banhammer Kozanicki. Hello James.
Hey Randy, how's it going?
My name is Randolph Ramsey. I'm the editor of GameSpot AU. And with me as always is Dan Chiappini. Dan, where are we, dude? We thought we'd introduce you to the newest member of the GameSpot AU team, and that is Laura Parker. Hello Laura.
Hello, Randy.
It is going to be awesome, isn't it? I mean, we're not trying to sell it too much, are we? Laura, tell us about your sack. G'day Dan, how are you? G'day Dan.
Hey Randy.
And we've added Laura Parker on as our female bass player because bands with female bass players are always cool.
60% hotter.
60% hotter as well.
I'm Dan Chiappini and I'll be hosting this week.
With me as always on the couch of awesomeness is Mr. Dan Chiappini and Miss Laura Parker.
Super titanium made from, baby Jesus' mind powers. It doesn't matter what they do with it. The only official video show we do out of GameSpot headquarters here in Sydney, because no one will make an unofficial product.
We have the big pimpin' dude himself, Mr. James Kozanicki, live on set.
What up, G Money?
We found it in the kitchen.
I know, you just like towing to the guacamole before the show.
We ate too much.
You ate too much, yeah. With me as always is Ms. Laura Parker. This is our special US election edition. With me is the not very hairy Laura Parker and the much more hairy Dan Chiappini. Next week is the last week that you'll see these modes because they're going to be gone after that. I hear that, outside of work, you're known as the baby maker, Dan.
I can confirm that.
Are we actually a TV show since we're on the internet?
I think technically we are TV.
Well, we're not-
we're bigger than Jesus.
It's been a great year. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great Christmas and New Year and see you in 2009.
The whole place is gonna explode.
Let's get out of here!
Looking for me?
Game over.
Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Crosshairs for 2009. My name is Randolph Ramsey. With me as always on the couch is Laura Parker and Dan Chiappini.
Randy?
How exciting was that break? Who would have known that that much taller, heavier guy wasn't actually caused the
We
whole
were
time?
so fooled by that.
I know, and luckily we had cameras running throughout that entire experience. G'day guys.
G'day. Randy.
Happy belated Australia Day.
And to you, sir.
I thought you guys were going to go beards for this occasion since Dan isn't here. We needed that hair quota.
Well, we tried to get Laura the hormones, but apparently
really
only
work.
cows can have them.
Can you smell that, guys? It's the smell of love, because this is Crosshair's very special Valentine's Day edition. Laura Parker, Dan Chiappini, can you smell it as well, or is there something else?
I was
Fire.
too polite to say anything.
Mr. Freak666 asks, Dear Laura, why aren't girls impressed with my kill-death ratio of 4-1? Mr. Freak, this is a very silly question. It's because it's not badass enough. Hello?
James, you need to change. I can sense your potential.
Cos finally gets one hit in, and that's it.
Well played, sir.
Alright, hands up who still loves the Street Fighter songs. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. What lovely hair you have, Randall.
But, oh yeah, this, just gearing up for Mardi Gras. With me as always on the couch is Mr. Dan Chiappini and Miss Laura Parker. G'day guys.
Okay, Randy?
How you doing?
Yeah, not quite.
You internet, I'm gonna track you down and you all in the eyes.
Laura Parker and James Kozanicki.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
You guys are really happy because I'm back, right? I mean, you missed me last week.
Oh, we cried rivers of
Really?
blood.
I will now read to you, in no particular order, a list of crap superhero games. Aquaman, Battle for Atlantis. Iron Man,
Welcome to a slightly more overweight version of Crosshairs.
Batman Vengeance. Batman and Robin. Batman Begins.
No oldies on this show. That's right.
Poor Randy, he's gone straight to Florida in the
Don't-
nursing home.
Don't trust anyone over 25. Superman 64. and Ghost Rider. Up and away!
Well, that was a side of Dan I didn't really want to see. Hello, Internet, and welcome to another edition of Crosshairs, your only guaranteed place not to hear anything about the swine flu that's going around the world. G'day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crosshairs. My name is Randolph Ramsey. Hello, what's happening?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
You tell us.
We're going to be in deficit for the next few years, but hopefully that won't lessen the quality of the show. Welcome to Crosshairs, GameSpot AU's weekly TV show, and one that's recorded in front of a live studio audience.
They were live at one point.
Well, there's actually just two people here.
It's us.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Where's the live studio audience?
Yeah, there you go. That's our video crew giving us props. I'm going to make you guys a promise. This is going to be the sexiest episode of Crosshairs ever. With me to prove that is Dan and Laura. G'day, Dan and Laura. How are you?
Setting that by pretty hard.
Oh dear, what are we going to do?
I hear Dan's in Iran covering the elections on Twitter.
Yeah, yes, follow Dan on Twitter.
Yeah.
So Dan in Tehran.
He likes to live the troublesome lifestyle, doesn't he?
Yeah, the Australian Federal Police were knocking at our door, but they took Dan's computer and we don't know what's happened since. Dan, I'm so happy you're actually back, because when I heard the news last week about Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett
And Jeff Goldblum.
and we all know, celebrity death goes in threes, and you weren't around, I was going, oh man, I hope Dan's okay.
I was concerned.
I don't know if you guys know this, but apparently in last week's episode, like halfway through the last preview, you actually saw Michael Jackson's ghost just walk behind us.
I'm going to have a look.
And actually I have some bad news for you. The rest of the show's season will be delayed until fiscal 2010. Laura Parker, Dan Capini, we just don't want to compete with Modern Warfare 2.
No.
Is that right? We're just
Who'd
gonna,
want to in this economic climate? We'll leave you with some incredibly cute photos of Randy's new pride and joy, Sebastian Cullen. Because almost at the end of it, but let's stick with tradition. We're going to go back to the classics. What has the community been saying this week?
Alright, so we had a look at what they had to say about the GameSpot Ashes, which I think we did pretty well in all things considering.
I think we did great in all things considering.
But I'm not going to drop any names, so I scored a goal. No one else did.
I
Not
passed
to
it to
suggest.
you. I passed it to you.
Maybe if you scored a
All
goal, we
in
would
the
have won.
past.
Let's not
Anyway.
play the blame game. What are they saying this week?
Alright, so Smeghead said, God, they suck at FIFA, which I think they were referring to us, which considering that we played the game for the first time that day.
I know.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did score a goal.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're not bad.
What else are they saying?
We got Monkey D93 said, we would have totally kicked their asses if K-Rod gave us super fast internet now, which I agree with.
So right.
Where's
so
that
right.
NBN when we need it? And then finally Camp Tramp said, Guy Cocker, I expected better FIFA skills. All I saw was sprinting in a straight line. But sick header for the third goal.
Awesome.
We'll have to come back on next year's, well, not next year's, but the next Ashes series. I
Yeah.
think we've got in the bag.
Yeah, well, we've still
I
got
agree.
one more game left, don't we?
Yeah.
We do. We have a third test, which is really just for kicks, because we handed it off to the UK
Obviously already
guys.
lost.
The only saving grace will be if we can walk away with a draw in the actual Ashes and retain the
Nice.
actual urn.
I don't know though, if we can double up the score in the next test that we'll be playing, I think we could maybe regain some pride.
Because we've got Ashes out this week. What else is out?
We've got Ninja Blade for the 360, Ferrari Challenge for the DS and Wii, and yeah, as you said, Ashes Cricket 2009 on the Xbox 360, PC, and PlayStation 3.
And the prizes don't stop coming here at GameSpot.au. Awesome stuff going on at the moment. What have we got to give away?
So we're giving away a copy of Batman Arkham Asylum on your platform of choice thanks to the OzSpot, as well as a TV and a sound system thanks to District 9, and there's also 20 runner-up double passes for that one.
And Kazi, how do people get these prizes?
Alright, so all you gotta do is go to www.gamespot.com.au/comps and you can enter there.
Guys, it's been a magical ride, and here's to 50 more.
Yes.
Hopefully,
Really
I know we'll be back next week for another episode of the show, and here's to many more Crosshairs episodes.
Happy birthday, Crosshairs.
Happy birthday, guys. Thanks.
See you next week.
Bye. Blow after 3, not on 3, okay?
Thanks, Laura. Just say the obvious.
Ready? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. Let's make some crosshairs.
Crosshairs rolling.